Yes, Casanova. Boys, I challenge you. I challenge you to do 100 cold approaches, right? No messing around. 100 cold approaches. That's my challenge to you for this coming week. Like, if you are strategic about this, you can do 100 direct cold approaches this week. If you have no idea who I am, my name's Kristian, and I travel the world teaching the art of daytime cold approach to 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, business owners, high achievers, because I believe any self-respecting man should be able to go over to a woman who he finds attractive without needing 10 pints of lager down him first. I think most guys get cold approach wrong. They think, what can I get through cold approach? When really the question what we want to be asking is, who can I become through this process? Yeah, I did my very first direct cold approach 4 years ago. And at the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I looked like a turnip. I dressed like a moron. I was living in a grotty apartment in Central Leeds. I had no money. I had no value. I just didn't know what I didn't know. But fast forward to today, I've become the best in the world at what I do. I have the best client results in the industry. You can look at my client results by clicking the link below. That'll take you to my website. Also on my Instagram page, @Casanova more results on there. I know what I'm talking about, and I know what gets results. And in my experience, it takes about 100 direct cold approaches to start to develop proficiency. Now, when I say direct cold approaches, all this means is you go over to women who you find attractive and you give them a compliment, right? And if you're shit scared to do this, that's normal. But you have to understand that there's no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. Right? We suffer more in imagination than in reality, and it's the avoidance which amplifies anxiety. Action alleviates it, right? If you've never done this before and 100 seems so far out of reach, just understand, all I need you to do is view the wreck itself as the reward. So when you're going out to do these 100 direct cold approaches, you're not going out there to get phone numbers, to get dates, to get happy endings. You're doing the approaches purely to do the approaches, right? Understand, nobody is allergic to a compliment. Do not deny these women the opportunity of getting to feel beautiful today. Remember, beauty needs a witness. In this age where most men are terrified, most men are swiping their lives away on a screen, they are settling for low-quality girls in grotty nightclubs. They are DMing hundreds of women a day on social media like some little simp. If you want to get ahead in today's sexual marketplace, if you want to surpass 99% of guys, then it's about unlocking this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%, which is cold approach. And understand, like I just said to you before, it's not what you can get through this process, it's who you become through this process. It's who you become after each approach. Cold approach for me is the ultimate self-improvement exercise. If you're one of those self-improvement junkies, then what I found to be true is most self-improvement is very passive. Yeah, it talks about meditating, gratitude journaling, red light therapy, going to the gym. And look, all of these things are great, but if you want a powerful, fast, reliable way of actually improving yourself, of building bulletproof self-esteem, of developing rock star confidence, of knowing that you can get dates on demand with the sort of women who turn heads as soon as you walk into a venue together. You can develop that rock star confidence where you can just walk into a venue and leave with the hottest girl in the room. You can finally attract the women that you want rather than settling for the ones you think you can get. Cold approach is going to give you all those things. It's been the thing which has supercharged my dating life the most. But look, when I got started 4 years ago, I thought I was getting involved with it purely for the women. And yeah, you're going to have more high quality options than you know what to do with once you become proficient at cold approach. But it goes deeper than that. Yeah, it's who you become through this process. It's the man that you transform into. It's the emotional resilience. It's being able to handle rejections. It's being able to go from one undesirable outcome to another without losing any enthusiasm. And then this bulletproof confidence, it spills over into the rest of your life. Yeah, you become more confident at work. You can lift heavier at the gym. You make more money because the skills that you learn through cold approach are directly linked to sales. Yeah, seduction is sales. You learn how to create a compelling offer, how to create a product so good that people would feel stupid to say no. You learn the game of life through this process. So I challenge you today, if you're actually serious about leveling up as a man, if you're serious about this process of what I call personal renaissance, 100 direct cold approaches, get it done. Show the universe that you're serious. Show your future self that you're serious about leveling up. I think there's far too many people these days who their actions do not match their ambitions. They're just consuming rather than creating. All this is just wanking in the wind. If you're just watching videos on how to cold approach, it's like collecting tools and never building anything. Go out there into the field. Give yourself permission to suck. Give yourself permission to fuck up. Fuck perfection, just show up. Yeah, 100 direct cold approaches. That's how many approaches, in my experience, it takes to develop proficiency. Yes, you're going to be shit at the start, but in order to become great at anything, we have to risk not being able to do it. If you go back onto the earliest videos on my channel, you'll be able to see where I started. We all start off as beginners. We all start off as shit. But what matters most is how well we walk through the fire. So 100 direct cold approaches. If you want an example of how to actually do this, because look, I'm not talking about having long, poetic masterpiece conversations. Like, this is what screws most guys over. Most guys, when they think about cold approaching a woman, they think too many steps ahead, they experience failure in advance, and they reject themselves on the woman's behalf. All you need to focus on is the open. Meaning that all you need to do is go over there, let your legs carry you, and just say something, right? Just say the words, excuse me. Because as soon as you've got that woman's attention by saying, excuse me, you're gonna have to say something else anyway. So by that point, you may as well just give her a compliment. And what you'll find is, as soon as you've walked over and you've said, excuse me, and you've got her attention, all of those self-limiting beliefs, all of that anxiety, all of those palpitations, they're gonna dissipate. Now it's just you and the woman. Now you're in this private bubble of conversation. Now, all of a sudden, the rest of the world doesn't matter. Now you can deliver yourself. That's all cold approach is. Cold approach is simply a way of delivering your value to the world. There's no point in acquiring all of these materialistic trophies. There's no point in having the Lamborghini, the penthouse in Malibu, making 7 figures, if you still can't go over and talk to that pretty girl. That's the analogy that I always use. It's like working your bollocks off to buy a Lamborghini and then being too scared to drive it. So just focus on the open. Just focus on those first few seconds. Just focus on leaving every single woman better than you found her. Go over to a woman. It doesn't have to be catwalk models. You could start off with a few middle-aged ladies, or as I like to call them, hashtag milfshakes, just to get that momentum going. Because once you've done 1, you can do 2. Once you've done 2, you can most likely do 10. Then you can do 20, then 50. By the time you've done 100 direct cold approaches, you've already separated yourself from 99% of guys who are still thinking, who are still procrastinating, who are still sleepwalking their way through life. And I understand that sometimes guys' concerns is, oh, I don't want to become a pickup artist. Yeah, that's not what you're going to become. For me, cold approach, it's a necessary skill of the modern day renaissance, man. It's another tool to add to your arsenal, because dude, we've all had those moments. Maybe you're on holiday, maybe you walk into the gym, maybe you're about to return a pair of jeans, and you see that gob-smackingly gorgeous girl walking past you, and you know in yourself, you want to be able to go over, but you cope your way through it. You're like, nah, I don't do that. I'm a high-value man. High-value men don't approach. High-value men don't compliment women. When the reality is, you just don't do that because you're scared, because you're being a pussy about it. And how much longer are you going to be a pussy? Yeah, what sort of man do you want to become? What sort of masculine role model? What sort of leader? What sort of father? What sort of partner? Because for me, I'm the guy who goes after what he wants. I'm the guy who goes after what he wants with unapologetic enthusiasm. And it's a case of, I deliver myself to the world, this is me, take it or leave it. The only mindset is I'm going to leave people better than I found them, because a rising tide lifts all the boats, right? So My challenge to you, I genuinely want you to do this. If you're serious about improving yourself, if you're serious about becoming a top 1% decentralized player and just smoking the rest of your competition, 100 direct cold approaches. Let's go.